Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to episode 3 of my Deadman Mode series. So I wanted to start this one out by showcasing some of the quests that I've done lately on my Grind to Barrows gloves. I do need to get 175 quest points, so that's been a big goal. So I did knock out Throne of Miscellanea and Royal Trouble. I'm not sure if I'm going to do anything with my kingdom. I doubt I will, but it might be a good idea to get some mahogany planks or maybe some bird's nest from that later on, because those are extremely expensive right now. From here, I did Ellie Workshop 1 and 2, which was pretty damn scary in my opinion, because teams have been camping that area out because it's multi-combat downstairs. And then I went on and did a little bit of range training once I unlocked Letya, so I could get some teleport crystals from these elves so I can come back here whenever I want. And I did Morning's End Part 1, and I will be preparing to do Morning's End Part 2 so I can unlock the Dark Beast for 1, because that's what I'm slaying up to level 90 for. But as well, it's just going to be an overpowered hiding area. I wanted to talk to you guys real quick about this distilling that people have a problem with in Regicide quests all the time. So easy way to do it, the target regulator on the right, you want to click to the right twice. The pressure valve, once it gets in the green area on the left side, the pressure icon, you click that pressure valve once on the right and it makes it face up and down. And then you just add enough coal to keep the right lever in the green area as much as you can. You don't want it to go into the orange, because if it goes too far, you have to start all over. Should only take about 9 coal if you do it right, so it's really simple once you get the hang of it. But that knocked out Morning's End Part 1 for me, meaning I can now get into Morning's End Part 2, which I'm going to jump right into instead of taking a break like I sometimes do before my very long quests. And this was actually a really scary quest for me to get into, because for almost the entirety of it, you have 0 food on you, or I had 0 food on me because of how many prey pots I brought, because I wanted to do it in one run. And the scariest part about it is I actually ran into someone that was a little bit higher level than me that was also doing the quest when I was doing it, meaning if he had just a few ounces of food on him and he attacked me, I would have been absolutely dead because I had nothing on me during the majority of this quest. But Morning's End Part 2 finally knocked out. Took me a little bit over an hour and a half, I think. And I didn't really mess up this time, so I was happy about that. But the really important part here is the Death Altar is going to be an absolutely amazing getaway for me in hiding location, because so few people are going to do this quest in Deadman Mode, I feel. Maybe only the people that get up to Dark Beast, and you don't even have to have this done to kill Dark Beast. You just have to start it. So I did come to my favorite training area so far. I just finished the Legends quest, and I unlocked the Shadow Warriors, which at this point no one has Legends quest done. I've met 2 people that have the quest done so far. And I've been training a little bit of range down here just because it's a good alternative to the ogres, which everyone is at King Lathis' training area. So I think I'm going to be doing some melee skills here as well over the next few days, just so I can have a relatively safe area with, not too many PKers, no one that I've seen so far, and get a little bit of training done and see how that goes before we move on to some more quests. Oh my god, I can't believe I actually did this. So I followed someone up here from Edgeville Lever, and not thinking about it, I thought to myself, hey, let me just pull this lever and go back to Edgeville real quick. Just so you know, if you don't have the Hard Wilderness Diaries done, you can't do that. There's no toggle for that. You just end up in Artie and you die. And unfortunately, Brad did the same exact thing and had, I don't know. This was just embarrassing. But fortunately, there's a happy ending to this story. And I was actually able to run all the way back from a Cami Teletab and pick up almost all of my stuff. There was a little bit too much on the ground, so I couldn't pick up anything. So from the stuff that I lost, I decided I wanted to do a little bit of solo PKing, and I figured I'd find somewhere that has not a lot of opposition. Mostly what I'm looking for right now is defenseless players, because I don't really know what I'm doing while I'm PKing, so I don't want to be fighting PKers at this point. I want to be fighting people that are ill-prepared for Deadman Mode and think that they're absolutely invincible when they're right next to a safe area, which they're just not. So I know they're not going to have a lot of loot on them, but I'm hoping to bank on some decent bank keys and run into as few PKers as I can, which this guy was pretty excited when he found me Scalding Full Mystic, and almost caused a few problems for me, but I was able to freeze him, get away, get a Cami Telly off, and then go to my favorite hiding place in the game right now, which is the Legends Guild. So I finished that run off, and I actually killed 2 more skillers real quick on the way to the Legends Guild just to finish up with 5 keys, but they had nothing because they're mules like everyone on this frickin' game. The bad part is I made a massive mistake right after I PK'd, and if you saw it there, I left my auto attack on, my left click attack on. So Brad was returning the Death Talisman to me that I gave him for Morning's End Part 2, and right after which I left click someone. Unfortunately, that's everything that had just PK'd gone, on top of my full Mystic, on top of my Dragon Bolts, just everything pretty much just wiped me right there. And this was actually the third time I had died today, or that day. So I basically just called it quits for the night with the PKing, and I went on to do a little bit of questing. Finished up my recipe for disaster, which I feel like I did this pretty quick. I mean, this was less than 2 weeks for me from the start. And I can't really be too upset with that because, you know, it was about 10 days total for the gloves, which in the past it's usually taken me about 3 weeks to get there on an account. Then again, I could pretty much grind all the skills for it in one day this time, and you can't really do that on the regular mode. But Barrow's gloves knocked out. The only person I know for a fact that finished this before me is Wooks, so I guess I'm pretty happy with that. Kind of a personal achievement, I guess, you know, make me feel good inside. And I'm not too sure if it was the smartest idea to use the 20k lamp on Slayer, but I felt it's Deadman mode, and I want to get Slayer up as quick as I can so I can unlock some sort of tasks that's going to make me some money outside of PKing. Might come in handy in the future. There we go, got our Barrow's gloves bought. And there's one thing I wanted to check with these, and that is, can you buy a ton of Barrow's gloves and stick these in the bank and not risk them on death? Because that could be a way to store money. Unfortunately, you can't. You do risk them when you die, even if you have them sitting in your bank, even though they're untradeable. So I guess I'm just going to have to keep one pair at all times and hope I don't die. I had a little bit of extra money sitting around, so I went ahead and bought a left half Dragon Square for about 80k GP off the streets. And went to the Legends Guild since I have access to this, bought the right half for 750k, figured that this could be a way to suck up a little bit of money for now and throw something expensive in my deposit box that should have about a set value at the moment just because it's guaranteed at least 750k to make it. So I'm hoping that it retains some value, and maybe I'll even be able to sell it for profit later on. But my friend Making Peace here, who is 99 Smithing, was more than happy to make it for me. He's one of my subs, and he's just an awesome guy. So if you need any Dragon Squares made, I guess you can PM Making Peace, and he'll charge you no more than 3 mil for the whole job. It's not that bad. I do want to say a huge thank you to Tarzan, who allowed me to use his Gilded Altar to get 52 prayers so I could smite during my PKs. And I might have to come back to you in the future to get 70, but I do really appreciate you helping me out here. Another one of my subs that has just been absolutely awesome so far. You know, I'm not really sure why, but I only have one clip saved from my Dragon Defender run. And that is getting the Bronze Defender. I did this solo, and I spent about 5 hours here prey flicking the entire time so I could keep the maximum amount of food on me to go for Dragon Defender extremely, extremely late at night. And I actually only ran into 3 PKers, and none of them were able to kill me, so that was pretty good times. Unfortunately, the last group came in a team, and I kind of got spooked there and decided to stop at Rune Defender, and I guess I'll just go for Dragon at some other point. So I decided to try to find some unconventional areas to PK, and this is one area that I wanted to check, which is a Deadman area. Upstairs is guarded, so people think they're pretty damn safe here. And I came along Fletchinator, who was actually stun-alking with a full inventory without realizing it. So every few seconds he was dropping 15k GP on the ground, and I just sat here banking on it until I decided, you know what, this is probably a free enough kill. He's got bronze iron armor on, and he's got a rune helm, so that's not going to give him a massive defensive bonus. I could probably end up killing him, hopefully before anyone else shows up, because if I skull down here and someone stays on me, I'm pretty much dead. There's a huge amount of risk behind this, because upstairs is a guarded area, and that's my only way out. So it's either free someone and walk under them, or get out before that happens. So Fletchinator, I'm sorry guy, you have to die. I have to take your bank, and you're almost AFK for the entire kill, which would have been really nice. It would have been pretty cringy if I'd lost to that 0-0 spec there. I understand your response. I would feel the same way, man. But I've got to claim your Maple Longbows. I've got to claim your Soul Runes, and I've got to claim your Nats. Unfortunately, I would have claimed a lot of cash, but you just decided to drop it all instead. Alright, so I did a little bit of melee training, waited 30 minutes just to check for a 509k key, 658 nats, 70k cash, the best key I've had so far because it has 0 junk items in it. It doesn't have any of the masks, any of the pumpkins, and I was so happy about the kill that I decided to try one more and just happened to find a level 66, again in iron armor, that I walked casually over to spec out, and you'll see it didn't take too much. 2 specs and he was pretty much down. 58 HP in iron armor down here is not going to allow you to live. I'm sorry, man, especially when I'm high strength. 107k cash in the inventory goes all the way up to 434k. 1.1k nats, which as Bodhi knows is worth about 0 GP. and the maple longbows to finish it off. Really juicy kill, just a ton of risk behind it, so I have to get out of here quickly. Anyways, guys, that's going to wrap up episode 3. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you stick around for episode 4 because there's a lot juicier loot coming after this one. Take it easy, boys.